السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا، إنه من يهديه الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد، وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد، وسلم تسليما كثيرا. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal at the beginning of this gathering to gather all of us with the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make us from those who will be with Him Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam on the day of judgment, and those who will accompany Him in Jannah, and those who will be with Him in the Firdaus al-A'la min al-Jannah. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to give Muslims victory everywhere and to alleviate their suffering. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make it easy on every single Muslim. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive our sins and to forgive our parents and to have mercy on them and to have mercy on our mothers and our fathers, whether they are alive or dead. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make us from those who listen to what Allah Azza wa Jal revealed upon His Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and then they follow the best of it. And those who like to follow the Sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But brothers, at the beginning, we need to always focus on making dua, because we cannot guide ourselves. We cannot guide our kids. We cannot guide anybody. The one who only can guide is Allah Azza wa Jal. That's why we always remind ourselves by this dua, by this speech of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Khutbat al-Hajah. He used to say Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam at the beginning of every khutbah, إِنَّهُ مَنْ يَهْدِهِ اللَّهُ فَلَا مُضِلَّ لَهُ. Indeed, whomever Allah guides, nobody can misguide. وَمَنْ يُضْلِلْ فَلَا هَادِيَ لَهُ. And whomever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala misguides, none can ever guide. SubhanAllah. That to make you and me and everyone, every Muslim, rely on Allah Azza wa Jal only. We rely on Allah not only when we ask Him for provision, but also we rely on Allah when we ask Him for guidance. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the greatest actually thing in our life. As I promised, I don't know, subhanAllah, we spoke in the last few gatherings about Hajj, right? And about the details of this blessed journey. And we said, inshallah, this time we are trying to, inshallah, wrap up the remaining questions or points that, inshallah, might be beneficial also. And at the same time, if you have any question, it's your turn now to ask, right? And by the way, asking a question is half of knowledge. You know that? Not anybody can ask. Because when you ask, that means you read, and then you come across things, and then you want to know, right? So if I don't know anything about chemistry, I wouldn't ask any question, right? And if you even ask me, do you want to ask anything about chemistry, and I haven't actually come across this subject in my lifetime, I wouldn't be able to ask them, right? I would say, what is chemistry? This is the only question. But the details of it, no. But if I read about chemistry, for example, right, and then what will happen, now I start thinking, and many things would be difficult for me to understand on my own, so that will push me to ask, right? So I wanted, some of the Sahaba used to ask, not for themselves, by the way. They used to ask for others. What does it mean? They used to ask even after they knew the answer. Subhanallah. Why? For others to learn. For others to learn. So don't hesitate to ask, even if you think you know the answer, but you might benefit somebody else. Right? SubhanAllah. And, and actually the journey of Hajj is so beautiful, but at the same time, not everybody is going to Hajj this year. So for those who plan to go for Hajj, there are some questions, some relevant questions for them. And for those who are not going to Hajj this year, there are also some things to be done, right? So we need to cover, inshallah, tonight, both of these two sides. Right? As for those who go for Hajj, of course, we mentioned before the details of this journey. Is there any question you wanna start with? We can start off with any question. Yeah. Because always just we'll leave the question at the end and then we don't have time to answer. But I like to start with questions this time.
Hajj Tamattu, that's the best form of Hajj. So it involves you doing the Umrah first. You go and you do Umrah and then you don't shave off your beard. You leave it long, you cut it short a little bit, and then you take away your ihram, right? And then on 8 you just go to Mina. Like you can go to your hotel and then wait for 8 of Zul Hijjah until you go to Mina and then just start ihram again, right?
What's the question?
So the question is this and the Qarn. What's the difference? There is 3 kinds of Hajj.
Okay.
Qarn, Mufrid, and
Qarn. Okay. The question for those who didn't listen, he was asking about Hajj Tamattu. We mentioned last time is the best form of the 3 nusuk, right? It's like nusuk, right? I want you to know this word. Nusuk and ansak. Nusuk is the singular form and the ansak is the plural form. Ansak, jamma, and nusuk is mufrad. So nusuk is actually a form of performing this ibadah, Hajj. And we said there are 3 ways to perform Hajj. Either to make only Hajj, no Umrah, right? Or to make Hajj and Umrah, and if you want to make Hajj and Umrah, it has 2 ways also, right? So one way to make Hajj only Hajj, but 2 ways to make Hajj and Umrah, right? Which is better? The best of these 2 ways, is what the Prophet ﷺ what he wished to do, because he did something, and then after he did it, he said, "Oh, I had actually wished to do something else." However, he actually brought with him the hadi that's supposed to be slaughtered. The hadi the word hadi is actually it looks like the word qurbani or udhiyah. But udhiyah for those who don't go for Hajj, Hajj is for those who go for Hajj. But both of these 2 things is mean what? Mean to slaughter, right? So he had brought with him the sacrificial animals or the Hajj animals, right? So he actually couldn't do a tamattu. Right? He did a Quran. And the Quran, the difference is the Quran, you intend to make Hajj and Umrah from the get-go. Like once you put on your ihram and you start at the beginning, now you are on board, right? Your airplane, right? You actually come across the ihram. She's now almost a few minutes away from the airport, right? Airport, if you're going to go to Jeddah airport, right? So it's only a few minutes away from the from landing, right? If you are going to make the Quran, you are going to say لبيك اللهم عمرة في حجة. لبيك اللهم عمرة في حج. Umrah and Hajj together, and you will keep your ihram on until you finish Hajj, until you slaughter your Hajj, right, at the day of Eid. So your ihram will be on during all these days. You couldn't put it off, right? What the Prophet did. His ihram was on. He, by the way, the Prophet, when did he arrive? What do you call Mecca? 4th of the Hajj. 4th of the Hajj, right? So he made Sallallahu Tawaf, right? sa'i of Umrah. What did he do? Tawaf and sa'i for Umrah. But he didn't cut his hair. He didn't cut his hair. Right? He didn't cut his hair now. And he was muhrim. Right? He didn't put off his ihram. Right? During these days. So 4th of the Hajj, 5th and 6th and 7th, 8th, right? Again, subhanallah, he now is same ihram. Same ihram. So he didn't do anything else. And then he went to Mina because you have your ihram on. Right? Right? So all these, and then he went to Mina and over there, but on the day of 8th, he didn't do anything else. He didn't say like Allah Hajj because he is already in ihram. Right? And then he went to Mina, and then the day of Arafah, and then the day of Hajj. In the day of Hajj, what did he do? He, as we mentioned before, the day of Eid, the 10th of the Hajj, right? The day of Eid, he did what? He did what? We mentioned before. What was the first thing to do? Jamarat. Throwing how many? 7. Right? Only the biggest one, right? And then after that, what did he do? He slaughtered. No, he slaughtered after the Jamarat. After throwing pills, he slaughtered. And then he shaved his hair. So he only did it once. He only shaved once because he didn't put off his ihram for Umrah. Right? He didn't cut his hair, right, for Umrah because he was muhrim. Right? And then after he shaved, he went to make tawaf and sa'i. Right? No, he made tawaf and sa'i for Hajj now. Because the first tawaf and sa'i was for Umrah.
So same thing with the tamattu, you have to do sa'i twice?
For tamattu, now this is for Quran, right? But you plan to make tamattu because he said that's what he wished to do, right? So for tamattu, you are going to say what when you first go, first time to make it, to put on your ihram, you will intend to make Umrah only. Not Hajj.
But in Quran, can we do it before the? Can we do together the Safa Marwa and say?
Huh?
When we do the Umrah, can we do the say before the Hajj?
Sa'i.
Yeah, in Quran, can we combine?
You will tawaf and sa'i first, of course.
Yes.
No, but then, I see what he's saying. You can possibly miss it, don't do sa'i, and just do one sa'i with the Hajj.
You can postpone that.
Postpone the sa'i. So,
Look, sa'i has to be done after tawaf.
Yes.
But tawaf can be done alone. You cannot go and do it sa'i alone. Right? But you can make tawaf alone. You can make tawaf only, right? And then you can postpone sa'i with the sa'i of the after that, right? But when you make tamattu, so when you make tamattu, right? So when you make tamattu first, you have to make tawaf and sa'i. Tamattu first, because this tawaf is from Umrah now. You go from Umrah now. Now you do what you do Umrah now. You have to make sa'i now. You can say I'm going to postpone sa'i, right? You can do that in tamattu. You get my point? Sa'i between the Safa and Marwa. Sa'i means to go between Safa and Marwa. For this, I like your question, by the way. Because if you don't understand any word, you have to say you don't understand this word, right? You might say until the end of the class and then say I didn't. So ask. Because maybe also others you don't know. Sa'i is to make is to go from Safa and Marwa 7 times, right? So now for tamattu, you have to make sa'i and tawaf and sa'i, right? Tawaf around Kaaba and sa'i between the Safa and Marwa. You have to, right?
again,
Huh?
again for the Hajj.
No, now I speak about Umrah now first,
Yeah.
right? And then of course you cut your hair, and then now you're good to go and to put off your ihram, right? Right? And then, tamattu, of course. And then on the day of 8th, you make another ihram. Another intention, another ihram, you put on your ihram again. Right? You get it? I don't know if this was your question. Is it
Yeah,
clear?
what I'm saying is on 10th, after you Jamarat and Halaq, Udhiya, Halaq, then you go for Tawaf Ifada, right?
go for tawaf now, tawaf al-hajj now.
Tawaf al-Hajj and then sa'i.
And then sa'i, of course, al-hajj.
Okay.
Because hajj has tawaf and sa'i too. Umrah has tawaf and sa'i, hajj has tawaf and sa'i. Right? Especially if you're going to make tamattu. So now for hajj now, the day of, we mentioned already, actions, you just should know what are the actions of every day. How many days of hajj?
6 days.
6 days. All in all, 6 days, right? The first day is 8, which is an optional day. It means it's a sunnah to do it. Right? Preferable. If someone misses this day, his hajj is still okay. And then the Arafah, which is must. Whoever missed Arafah, he missed the hajj. قال رسول الحج عرفة. So whoever misses the day of night, Arafah, and he couldn't go to the mountain of Arafah under any circumstance, خلاص, no hajj. No hajj. خلاص. He has to, if he intended, he has to put off his ihram, and subhanallah has to slaughter them, and then, to put off his ihram, he cannot do that unless he made a condition. We're going to come to this point. And he, subhanallah, has to make hajj from the next year, the following year, right? But khalas, al-hajj Arafah. Hajj is all about Arafah. This is the greatest pillar of hajj. Arafah, stay at Arafah, right? So, and if someone missed, like someone actually he arrived late. Another question: you go to Arafah and then you arrive late, right? If you arrive before Maghrib, you have to wait. If you arrive before Maghrib, and then you have to wait a little bit after the sunset, right? And if you arrive after the sunset, anytime, just anytime, you can stay anytime, right? Anytime. But you have from the Dhuhr of Arafah, of the night, till Maghrib. If you are there, you have to move now by the sunset, right? After the sunset, you just have to move to Muzdalifah. If someone actually couldn't arrive there, still has a chance, yes, has a chance to go before the Fajr of the next day, right? Subhanallah. Because this is a hadith, a man, he actually missed the group of the Prophet, and then he just was late. And then he met the Prophet after that in Muzdalifah. He said, Ya Rasulullah, just know, I tried to catch you, but I couldn't. So I didn't, subhanAllah, leave any mountain unless I saw it. He said, and he mentioned this actually ruling. He said, whoever attended this kind of the place Muzdalifah, and he was before that standing anytime at Arafah, so his hajj is complete, right? So because the man arrived after the Fajr of the next day, right? The day of Eid now, the 10th. But he was the whole night he was trying to catch, and he was trying to stand at any mountain he met in his life, in his journey, right? And then he said, if you have it, khalas, you already caught the Arafah. Who does? You got it now? So the best is to stay from Dhuhr till Maghrib, right? We speak about if some body missed this time, can he still go to Arafah? Yes, he can go to Arafah after Maghrib. What is the deadline for Arafah now? Fajr of 10. MashaAllah. Right? Well, this is for emergency, right?
The Qasr Salawat, it has to be Qasr or full. They say Dhuhr and Asr in Arafah, so it's 2 and 2 or 4 and 4. They say
Another question, in Arafah, you shorten Salah or you combine only? Both, you do both. In Arafah, you do both. You combine the Salah together, you pray Asr with Dhuhr, and you pray every Salah for you shorten and Qasr and Jam'a. Jam'a is to combine. combine the salat together, ظهر عصر is to shorten the salat to a half. Right? This is half.
Same thing in Muzdalifa, Maghrib and Isha.
Muzdalifa, so you pray 3 rak'ah, and then you pray Isha 2 rak'ah together. Right? So you combine, but Maghrib is always 3 rak'ah, right? There's no qasr in Maghrib. And the day of Eid, now you finish Jamarat, you finish the Hajj, the slaughter, but you have to slaughter when you make Hajj and Umrah. Whether it's Tamattu or Qiran, you have to know. If you only make Hajj only, you don't have to slaughter. If you make Hajj, so the slaughter is for what? It's for Tamattu and Qiran. Because now you did 2 nusuks, Umrah and Hajj together, so now you slaughter.
So Tamattu after Umrah, you shorten the hair or you leave it?
Tamattu
Yeah,
after Umrah?
yeah.
After you make Umrah, you have to.
Shorten the hair.
In order to put off your ihram, you have to cut your hair. And we say it's better to cut it, not to shave it, because there is no actually enough time for your hair to grow. So it's better to cut it, to leave hair for your Hajj. And in Hajj, you shave your hair. This is the best. The best is to shave, right? To shave your hair is the best, right? So and again, the actions of the day of Eid. This is the biggest day of what you call Hajj. Action is what? Jamarat. Once you arrive Mina now you're going from Muzdalifah, right? You stay the whole night at Muzdalifah, right? And you pray Fajr at Muzdalifah, the day of 10th, the Eid, right? And then you arrive, you go to Mina. You go to Mina there, first thing to do is to throw the Jamarat. It's better to have it's sunnah to have wudu every time. You do anything, it's sunnah, but it's not must. And then you slaughter your hadi, the second action, right? After do that, you go and shave your hair. Khalas, you put off your ihram now. After these 3 things, right? Or if you do 2 out of 3, right? You can also put off your ihram. If you throw jamarat, and if you, subhanallah, cut your hair, you can still put off your ihram. It's better to just make sure that you slaughter your head, or you ask somebody to do it for you, right? And then after that, you put off your ihram partially. Means what? Only you can wear clothes, right? But you can go close to your wife if she is with you, right? And then you go where? You go to Mecca to make tawaf. We call it tawaf al-hajj, or tawaf al-ifada, or tawaf al-rukn. 3 names. This is actually the tawaf al-hajj, one of the pillars of hajj, right? Tawaf al-hajj. And after tawaf, you make sa'i. You make sa'i hajj too. If you do tawaf and sa'i now, khalas, you're completely you're out of ihram. And tawaf and sa'i, of course, you wear your clothes. You don't have ihram now, but you already put off your ihram. And it's better to take a shower and to put perfume, and then after you shave your hair, and to go and, right? And to make tawaf and sa'i in your clothes, right? In your clothes, not in your ihram, and to put, it's better to also put on perfume and to make tawaf and sa'i.
But this tawaf and sa'i is not easy because everybody has.
Now, I mentioned that last time. That's what I did one year actually, right? It wasn't easy because we had a group. Can I postpone tawaf and sa'i the next day? Yes. To the 3rd day? Yes. The 4th day? Yes. You can postpone tawaf and sa'i. You can postpone tawaf and sa'i if you can. What?
Not forever.
Then you have to keep your ihram.
Huh?
You have to keep your ihram.
No, خلاص you put ihram now. Now you put off your ihram now. You put off your ihram after you do what? After you shave your hair. خلاص. Put your ihram. But you actually are so tired now. You want to go and take this. You can. The best what he did something. He made tawaf and sa'i the same day. But if you cannot do tawaf and sa'i the same day, you can make it the next day.
You can do tawaf, go home, and then come back next day from Mina and do sa'i.
No. He said sa'i cannot be done without tawaf.
One practice.
You have to do sa'i after tawaf. And you couldn't make a gap between tawaf and sa'i too much time. No. Again, very important. Whether you go for Umrah or Hajj, you make tawaf, make sa'i right away after that. It takes a few minutes to take rest, yes, like but not too much time. If you make a big gap between tawaf and sa'i, you would have to make tawaf again in order to make sa'i. You got it? Right? So a sa'i has to be done after tawaf. Sa'i has to be done after you can leave a gap between tawaf and sa'i. Right?
So you have to do another tawaf al-wida when you're leaving.
So now one more thing here. Somebody might say, okay, can I postpone tawaf and sa'i until I plan to move from Mecca and to make one tawaf with the two intentions, tawaf al-hajj and tawaf al-wada'. So look, this faqih now, he said no.
It depends on how many days.
Can you make tawaf and can you now? The question is, just to make it first of all, just try to understand the question very well. Now you finished, you shaved your hair, and you couldn't make tawaf and sa'i for some reason. You want to actually go take rest. Okay, no problem. And then the next day you could do it. Or say, you know what? I'm going to postpone tawaf and sa'i now. No, just listen. Whether your answer was not right. Okay.
I think so. It's for ladies. They can.
I think
Okay. No. Now tawaf and sa'i. I said now you plan to خلاص tawaf and sa'i, but not the same day of shaving your hair, not the day of Eid. You postpone it. Can you keep on postponing this tawaf and sa'i until the day that you intend to move and depart from Mecca, and then to make tawaf with two intentions, tawaf of Hajj and tawaf of Wada', and then you make sa'i and leave? The answer is yes. Tawaf al-Wada', my brothers, tawaf al-Wada' is like what? It's like a tawaf you have to do at the end of your journey. Right? Whether it's tawaf al-Ifada or any other tawaf. I'm going to give you an example now. Like you come to masjid to pray, and then it's still time for salah. What should you do? You pray what? Tahiyat masjid, mashallah. What if you come and you find them praying? Would you go to Tahiyat masjid? What would you do? Join them. Would you make Tahiyat masjid after that? Khalas, why? The point is to make salah once you enter. You name it in the salah. If there is fard salah, khalas, alhamdulillah. The point is not to sit down before you pray in the salah. The same actually goes and the same applies for the Hajj, for Tawaf al-Wada'. Don't leave Mecca without Tawaf. Whether this Tawaf is Ifada or any other. If there is no Tawaf, you should do, because you finish all the 4 Tawafs, now right? You get Tawaf al-Ifada. So now you have to make Tawaf al-Wada'. But if still you didn't make Tawaf al-Ifada, you can make Tawaf al-Ifada with the same intention of Allah, especially if it's so crowded, right? And especially for those who are sick or old, right? So it's okay. Now, let me easy for you. You can make Tawaf al-Ifada, which you didn't do at the same day of Eid, right? After you finish Mina now, right? You finish, you stay at Mina for 2 days, right? Or 3 days is the best. The day, the 11th, 12th, and you expect to stay 13th, right? So after you finish Mina, 3 days, right? You go to Mecca and you make Tawaf al-Ifada with the intention of what? Tawaf al-Wada'. If you plan to move from Mecca. If you plan to move from Mecca. But if you stay after that, after you make Tawaf, even if you make the intention to make it as Wada' to Furul Tawaf, right? If you still there, you have to do it again over that. You got it? You got it now? Huh? 50%? 50% or 100%? 100%? Okay.
I think you cannot put a huge gap between your last tawaf and leaving.
Exactly. Yes. Last tawaf and exactly. Yes, you're right.
So if you mentioned that if you have intention to live there,
can postpone it.
There's no time.
You can put no, as long as you are there, you can postpone. But don't leave Mecca. Don't leave Mecca. Yeah.
Even a month.
Yeah, and even if somebody for some reasons, like he left Mecca, he has to go back and make it. Right? Tawaf and Sa'i. Right? So now if you intend to make Tawaf and Sa'i, at the end of your journey, to combine two intentions together, the intention of Tawaf al-Hajj and at the same time the intention of Tawaf al-Wada', you can do that. The only condition is you have to do that and leave right away. If you don't leave right away, Tawaf that you did for Hajj is okay, it's valid now. For Hajj and Sa'i is valid, but now you have to do what? Only Tawaf, without Sa'i, only Tawaf al-Wada' once you decide to move out from Mecca. Hopefully it's clear. Right. So, any questions about Hajj now? Yeah. Quran, yes.
Is it necessary to bring your hadiyah with you in the point of origin?
It's not necessary to do that. You can do, if you intend to make Hajj al-Quran, خلاص, you do Hajj al-Quran. But the point is not necessarily in order to make Hajj al-Quran to bring your Hajj with you in the airplane or you stick it with you, right? But the point is, if you bring if you live there, right, close to Mecca, and you are going to travel by car or whatever, right? And if you bring your Hajj with you, now you have to choose Hajj. You know the difference now? If you bring the Hajj with you, you have to choose what? Hajj al-Quran. But if you don't bring the Hajj with you, you have the options now, either to do Hajj al-Quran or Hajj al-Tamattu or Ifrad. So if you restrict yourself by bringing the Hajj, now you limit yourself. And you limit your options. You only have one option, which is Hajj. If you bring your Hajj with you, how many options do you have now? One option, Hajj al-Quran. But if you bring your Hajj, the animal that you are going to slaughter, you have how many options? You have Tamattu or Quran or even Ifrad. Only Hajj only. Right? Right? Hajj is for everybody. No, Hajj only even for everybody. Yeah. Right? So this is actually the point of bringing the Hajj with you to Mecca.
Can we postpone our Hajj for a couple of days?
The Hajj has to be actually done in order to shave your hair. If you don't have, because if somebody doesn't have money to slaughter his Hajj, what should he do? Right?
Fast?
Has to fast how many days?
10 days?
Huh?
10?
You ask me or you answer?
I'm asking, is it 10 days or
Allah said that in the Quran. فمن لم يجد فصيام فمن تمتع بالعمرة إلى الحج فما استيسر من الهدي. Whoever makes tamattu' umrah and hajj, so he has to do hajj, right? Based on his convenience, like sheep, camels, whatever, like lamb, camel, whatever, right? Whatever is easy for him. فمن لم يجد, Allah says, whoever doesn't find, right? فمن لم يجد فصيام 3 أيام في الحج وسبعة إذا رجعتم تلك 10 كاملة. Whoever doesn't find, he has to fast 3 days during the season of Hajj and 7 days when he go back home, right? So the total will be 10 days. Can he fast these 3 days and the day after the day of Eid? Like the first day of Eid, can he fast the 11th, for example, 11th of the Hajj, 12th, 13th? Can you do that? Can you fast these 3 days? Huh? Okay, can we, those who don't go for Hajj, can we fast these 3 days?
If he's there, you cannot fast.
Huh?
If he's still in Makkah, you cannot fast those you have right?
No, again, if you are there making Hajj and you don't find a Hajj to slaughter, Can you, and you, now you need to fast 3 days over there, right? Can you fast these 3 days and make them 11th, 12th, 13th?
That's the Ayam Tashriq.
Yes?
Because I
Can you fast Ayam Tashriq there?
would prefer not to fast it.
Huh? No?
Yes.
Yes?
I think
Huh?
Sure.
Not sure? So, what did you say no? What did you say no?
Because in the
For 8 days, yes. Or what did you say yes?
Because I read it
Hmm?
somewhere. I read it somewhere.
So if you don't go to Hajj, you are here local, right? You go to Hajj. Can you fast them?
There are
Okay. To break it down for you, it's only one exception because these 3 days are also Eid. Are Eid. Ayam al-Tashriq are Eid, so you cannot fast them. He said, عيدنا أهل الإسلام, and he mentioned يوم النحر وأيام التشريق عيدنا أهل الإسلام وهي أيام أكل وشرب وذكر الله. It's the day of النحر, the 10th, and the 3 days after أيام التشريق. All these 4 days are عيدنا, أعياد, and are the days of eating, drinking, and dhikr Allah. Right? Okay. Now we understand this point? Okay. As for those who go for Hajj, it's okay for them to fast. An exception only for them to fast. You got it? If you are Hajj, you fast Ayam al-Tashriq. If you don't find what? Hajj.
They say if you cannot afford,
Of course.
I mean, if you cannot find it, another thing. يعني.
Both. Allah said, كمان لم يجد.
So
Allah
it
said,
has to be done on that day for, God forbid, if you cannot find a hadith, then.
no, it doesn't have to be on the day of. It can be done the second day or the third day. You have until the last day of Ayam al-Tashriq. Like now, Udhiyah here. Why the time window of Udhiyah? You know. The 10, 11, 12, and 13 before Maghrib. And 13 before Maghrib, right? Right? So you can still slaughter your Udhiyah here, right? If you are not making Hajj. The first day which is the best, after you pray, right? Or the second day which is 11, or 12, or 13 before Maghrib. Same, if you don't find over there, maybe 3 days or 4 days, you don't find. For any reason, you didn't find slaughter or any animal there to slaughter, or you didn't afford it, you didn't have money. So now you fast 3 days and you okay. Somebody might say, okay, somebody realized he doesn't have money before that. So he can fast 3 days over there while he's having ihram.
He
Right?
has to, by the way, or he can delay.
If he cannot fast over there, he can fast the 10 days. He has to fast 10 days now after that, right? But if he has time over there, he's not sick, right? He has time to fast over there 3 days. So he has the ability to fast 3 days. Allah said, فَصِيَامٌ ثَلَاثَةِ أَيَّامٍ فِي الْحَجِّ. You fast 3 days in the Hajj, right? وَسَبْعَةٍ إِذَا رَجَعْتُمْ, and 7 days when you go back home, right? Right? So, yes, this actually
You cannot do halaq as long as you don't do what here. You have to
Who
wait
said that?
till next day.
no. What I said to make halq, it doesn't require you to slaughter, right? As long as you throw your,
No, but the sequence for sunnah, yani.
as long as you, this is not fun. As long as you don't have it, right? How are you going to find? No, you don't have money to slaughter, right?
Yeah.
So even if you have money, the sequence is not found. Sequence is sunnah, preferable. So if somebody, he actually had thrown his pickles, the jamarat, right? And then instead of slaughtering, he shaved his hair.
Nowadays they give a time, your time is this time, you give your money in a bank.
Yeah, and they give you time.
Yes, so that's it.
That's it, plus. But look, you put on your ihram if you do 2 things out of 3. Again, you put off your ihram if you do what? No, answer this question and then leave. When should you put off your ihram? and the day of Eid.
I want to pay.
Huh? After you shave, what if you don't shave your hair? You only have thrown jamarat and you slaughter. He said if you do 2 out of 3. Right? Huh? 2 out of 3. Right? So if you just actually if you slaughter, and if you throw your pupils, right, the jamarat, now you can put off your ihram. But the best to do it to shave your hair too. To shave your hair and then you put off your ihram.
Can someone sacrifice in different location, not in Makkah?
Hmm?
Someone can sacrifice in
No, hadi, no, this has to be at Mecca.
Makkah.
Yeah. This is hadi. This is not mutahiyah. Right? Has to be at Mecca. So I think we cover all everything. Is there any other question about Hajj?
For women, they have only one type of horse, right?
Huh?
For women, they have only one type of horse.
One time?
Yeah,
Which is?
because they don't have the ihram, right?
No. No. Woman has to have ihram too. Ihram means what? Ihram means what? Women are like men, by the way. Don't make this segregation.
I'm saying when they go to Hajj, right?
They have all the options like men. That's different.
He needs a dress code. The dress code, right? The
No,
dress
no, I'm
code.
saying like a.
They can make Hajj only, Tamattu or Quran.
Oh, they can do the same. Okay.
Well, yeah, why not? Because women also make ihram or not? Women make ihram or not?
Her dress becomes
They have normal dress, right?
We said you did attend last week. You did attend last week? Last Friday, last Saturday? You did attend? Okay. Brothers here. Women, do they make ihram or no? How? MashaAllah. Ihram is all about niyyah, and you say something, you say by your tongue, لبيك اللهم عمر الحج. Ihram is not to work. If you wear your ihram now, like in clothes, would you be muhrim? Now, would you be muhrim? You can bring to you 2 pieces now. Until you go in this room and exchange and come out. Now you are muhrim? No. So ihram is what? Ihram is not to dress. For women, the ihram is only to cover themselves. As, by the way, this is really important for women. Even in Hajj, they're not allowed to uncover. The only thing they have to do is what? They cannot wear niqab because he said, what is one of the evidences that niqab is from the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. From the deen of Allah. Because he said, لا تنتقب المحرمة. لا تنتقب المحرمة. المحرمة, the woman who does ihram, she shouldn't wear niqab. ولا تلبس القفازين, and she shouldn't wear gloves, the قفاز. But he didn't say she shouldn't cover her face. He didn't say she shouldn't cover her face. What's the difference? She can still cover her face without niqab, because niqab is actually a piece of clothes which is tailored only based on the size of the face. But she can cover her face with anything else, even with her hands, right? If she sees any, strangers, like men, right? Subhanallah, as Aisha used to say, right? We used to cover our face if we see any man, right, coming close to us, right? So it is also one of the things that we put in. But the woman, ihram the woman is to wear everything, normal, right? It's only these 2 things. Now, and she has to say لبيك اللهم عمرة, لبيك اللهم حج في عمرة, or whatever, any nusuk she choose, she can choose any of these 3 nusuk. Ifrad, Quran, Tamattu. Right? Is it clear?
So going from Mina to Muzdalifah and praying Maghrib and Isha, they say it's like sometimes when you're in the bus, you may not be able to get Muzdalifah. Almost time for Fajr. 3 or 4
You
in
can pray
the
there
morning.
wherever you are.
So, but you have to be in Muzdalifah.
If for some reason you get stuck somewhere, you pray Maghrib and Isha.
You have done it, right? So it's doable from Mina to Muzdalifah.
From Mina to Muzdalifah, if you even walk, it's better to walk. But if you walk, you know how when will you arrive. If you walk, you take 2 hours. 2 hours.
2 hours of walking.
Walking.
Constantly.
Walking, yeah. You know, subhanAllah, we walked, right? We walked. It's better because you know, if you get a car, you will get stuck sometimes in the traffic and this and that.
Towards Mustafa, not towards Makkah. Okay, make sure.
Yeah. Of course, you will see most of people walk. You walk with them, subhanAllah. So you arrive there, you know, subhanAllah, by the time of Isha even sometimes. Subhanallah.
Same thing with Mina. What time you start heading towards Arafah?
Hmm?
What time of the day? In the morning, 11 o'clock, get ready, start walking.
If you just want to walk, you just estimate it. Like, you know, you need to be there by the Zuhr time.
No, it's not that far there.
You want to be there by the Zuhr time, right? So if you just move, like, you know, as I said, almost like maybe 2 hours, you just walk, you know, slowly and you're not rushing. So you can walk. So even if you walk,
But they say the
but
sunnah,
if you walk or if you ride, it's okay, the same.
but they say Sunnah Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he did everything on his camel. Yani,
So are you gonna do it on your camel too?
No, just use they say, just use the car.
At that time, the car is going to go inside. There's no car inside,
You were going now by plane, right?
right?
By sea.
So whatever you do actually, whatever is easy for you. Sometimes you wanna spare your effort for ibadah, for ta'ah, right? So if you just feel that if you walk from Mina to Arafah, by the moment that you arrive at Arafah, you're done. You have no even efforts to make dua, and you wanna sleep. That's fine now. You're gonna miss the whole day. But if you believe that, okay, I can actually, you know, I can walk and still like I can continue the journey until the end, no problem. So do whatever is easy for you and don't actually overburden your body, right? Because you might even actually, subhanAllah, do something today and then do something and then you realize you lost all of your energy, right? And when you need it, alas, you don't find any energy, any more energy.
That's
Right?
time to go after Fajr. That's true.
Look, after it's too early. It's too early to go after Fajr. It's too early, right?
Listening to khutbah is important, or you can miss it.
This is always important, of course. But it's not, is it fard? No, it's not fard. It's not fard. Like if you miss a khutbah, no problem. Right?
You say most of the Masjid Nimra is not in Arafah, so make sure you are in the open land. Jabal al-Rahma and around and atraf.
Could I have a speaker?
No, we said what do you mean by yes? The first 3 lines of the masjid is from Namira. It's from Namira.
Is in Arafah.
It's not Arafah. So if you pray the first 3 lines, which is actually so difficult to do anyway, if you do it, and if you pray the first 3 lines after you pray Dhuhr and Asr, you go back. You go back or you go out of the masjid, خلاص. Right? Yeah, to make sure that you are at Arafah now. Right? And of course, they have these things inside the masjid. They tell you, don't stay here, go back. They have this, signs everywhere. Arafah starts from here. This is the borders of Arafah. This is the end of the Arafah. This and that. Of course, this is so clear to actually observe. This is for those who go for Hajj. For those who go for Hajj, as you mentioned in the khutbah today, you have the first 10 days of of course, like the Hajjaj too. The first 10 days these are the best 10 days of in the year, right? Of course, for Hajjaj, we don't fast Arafat. For those who don't go for Hajj, they fast Arafat. And the fasting the day of Arafat expiates the sins of 2 years, right? The day before and the day after. But those who go for Hajj, they don't fast the day of Arafat, right? To be able to make dua and to, right? So for us here, we have a chance to do all the ibadah too, right? So Allah Subhanahu is the most merciful. So He also gave us the chance, and He also gave those who don't go for Hajj the chance to worship Allah Azza wa Jal, right? So you have the chance to fast the 9 days, the first 9 days. The first 9 days, you can fast the first 9 days. Subhanallah. Right? You recite Quran, you pray at night, Qiyam al-Layl, right? You give the charity, you do all these kind of, subhanallah, ibadat, you try to have, subhanallah, kind of good relationship with your kids. You do all these ibadat, right? You help people, all these things you do, right? Subhanallah. And this is what is subhanAllah great. By the way, giving the charity is something great. You know, and subhanAllah, I've come across a story. It's really story. The one that subhanAllah who narrated this visit, subhanAllah, his mother was so sick. And he realized there is no way for her to get out of her coma. She was unconscious. And khalas, now there is no hope for her to, subhanAllah, to be cured. And he was waiting almost, everybody was waiting for her to die. He said, subhanAllah, I went out, he was visiting her mom in the hospital, his mom in the hospital, and then he went out to do something, and he passed by a cat. And a cat, he passed by, a few kittens, like newborn, small kittens. And the mom was not there. And he realized they are so hungry. There's no food and there's nothing. It was like, subhanAllah, place where there is not. SubhanAllah, he said he went to the supermarket, was like close to a gas station, and he bought for them food and he gave it to them. Khalas, no, he didn't even go. I was like, subhanAllah. And then, subhanAllah, the next time he went to visit his mom, after like short, time, like a few hours, right? And he didn't find his mom in the ICU. She was in the ICU. And he said, "Khalas, she died," and they took. And the doctor, "Khalas, I know. Allah have mercy on her. Like, khalas, I know. You want to make it easy on me, and just you wanna, give me this kind of, subhanAllah, shock. I know my mom is not here. So where did the actually, what do you call now the body, when I just started washing her body and doing the funeral." He said, no, just come. Your mom is here in this room. She's out of the ICU, but she's here in this room. He said, I went inside and I saw my mom is almost sitting, and she's ready to go out with me home. And he was expecting her to die. He was like, really? So the doctor actually realized she doesn't need to be in ICU anymore, and they took her out and she put her in this normal room, and she was almost sitting. And he said she was actually willing to come and move and just stand up and to just walk with me. So he went to her, what happened? He said, "Wallahi, I don't know. My son, subhanAllah, I saw a dream that a cat is making dua for me." Wallah. A real story. I saw a dream that a cat is making dua for me. The mother of this kid, as you mentioned today, try to focus. Wallahi, many things around us, our subhanAllah, so distracting. Wallahi, and just in a minute you see, khalas, tomorrow is Arafat. What did you do? Oh, tomorrow is Eid. So from now, by the way, also you have to do something if you intend to slaughter. I think the day of the first day of the Hajj will be Thursday. Allahu A'lam. Still, we are waiting for the moon sighting, right? But most likely the first day of Hajj, of the Hajj, the month of the Hajj will be Thursday. That means Wednesday, Maghrib. This is the last chance for you to cut your hair. If you need to cut your hair, to trim your nails, this is the last chance for you to do that, right? SubhanAllah, you do that before. If you intend to slaughter, of course you do that, right? As we said, the only one who intends to slaughter. Like if you intend to slaughter, your kids don't have to do that, because they're not going to slaughter. Your wife doesn't have to do that. But you only intend to slaughter, so you stay away from cutting. So you just make sure you're ready before this day, right? So the first day most likely will start the first hour by the Maghrib of Wednesday, each Wednesday. Of Wednesday, right? If Thursday is the first day of the Hajj, right? Because Wednesday might be the first day. Wednesday might be the first day, right? Anyway, you just make sure that by Tuesday you're ready. By Tuesday you're ready, right? Inshallah. Is there any other question? Any question? Anything? Anything we know? About anything? Hajj, Eid.
Special dua of Arafah.
The best dua of Arafah, as he says, the best dua is to say لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. Best dua. And you can ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anything you want to ask Allah. Ask Allah for Muslims, for yourself, your family. بالدعاء. This is a day of dua. You have from the time of Dhuhr, like almost from 2 o'clock till almost 8 o'clock, almost have 6 hours. More than 6 hours. You only make dua. 6 hours. Only make dua. You can take a book with you, by the way. A book of dua. Because you might do and forget now. Have to come you can take a book with you, a small book with you, and you can make dua and try to, subhanAllah, get ready for that. And if you can have wudu all the time, that's not must. But it's better if you can have wudu. You will find over there places to make wudu, right?
Yes.
SubhanAllah. Yeah. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all of us Hajj soon, inshallah. And may Allah make it easy for our brothers and sisters who are applied to Hajj this year. May Allah make it easy for them. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us Hajj, inshallah. For those who don't go for Hajj this year, may Allah make it, inshallah, easy for us to go for Hajj, inshallah, next year. And to be all of us at Arafat, inshallah. Say Ameen. May Allah make all of us, make it easy for all of us, inshallah. He said something, Al-Hajj al-Mabrur has no, Hajj, the accepted Hajj has no reward less than Jannah. SubhanAllah. The reward of Hajj is Jannah. We ask Allah to give us Jannah, inshallah. All of us, jazakumullah khairan, alhamdulillah, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Did you miss anything? Nothing, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.